Only getting started when it's midnight, keeping it tight. If a nigga wanna go to war, it can get dark, but we stay bright. Coming like a night, it's on sight. Ever touch my sleeve? Niggas round there wanna disagree when it's clear that I'm speaking facts. Man like me.
I'll walk all of the miles you want me to walk.
Number 9 of the whole shoot.
No, I'm just talking about the like automated.
All together?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is
the 4th.
The year of the snake.
Pull it towards you. Pull the mic towards you. Let me see where it sits. Pull the mic towards you. That's cool. Just a second.
More.
Right there. Make sure we hear that. That voice.
Well.
That be talking on these songs. Everything recording. Okay, sound is sounding. All right, well, I'm gonna be a little corny and like, okay, I'm not gonna be too overly serious. But I'm here with the incredibly talented King David, actor, rapper, model, brand ambassador, and DIY creative expert. Yep,
I love it.
Ready to transform your home. I've been watching. Our first interview was back in 2017. And it's been 8 years, and this is our 4th interview together. I remember when we first sat down, both of us had just moved to Atlanta. In 2016, it has been quite a journey for both of us, baby. I could talk and talk. When you think about back then, the first interview, what comes to mind?
Fresh. Baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what comes to mind.
Uh-huh.
I was so young.
Yeah. Okay. You were 27 then.
Yeah.
How young are you now?
30. Yeah, I'm like 30 something.
30 something.
Like that.
What would you tell your 27-year-old self about living in Atlanta? Because we both moved here around the same time. So you've had some experiences in Atlanta. So if you could look to the side, what would you tell that young man?
Believe in you. You got it. Your intelligence makes you think a lot.
Okay.
But that also works against you.
Oh, okay.
You overthink.
Okay.
Just be.
I like that. How are you today? Let's do a mental check-in.
Okay.
How is King David today?
Today?
Yes.
King David is solid, you know. Life comes at you fast, you know. But I'm good.
Okay, expound on that.
Expound on that.
Yeah.
What
is the definition of good?
Good is, in my situation, it's a choice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Okay.
The good is you can't control the uncontrollables.
Okay.
But you can control your outlook, you know?
So when people think of Atlanta, living in Atlanta, sometimes people think that you may have to have mad roommates to survive living out here. Do you have 7 roommates that you live with?
I do not
So
have
you
7
living
roommates.
good?
I mean, listen, I'm just not built for a bunch of roommates.
Okay.
It's not for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you live in the city? Are you in rural places?
I'm in the city.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a city boy.
City boy.
Yeah.
Why a city boy? Why not, a suburb?
I'm from Philly.
Philly.
I'm saying.
Okay.
So it can't get too much different.
So
you know?
when you walk out the house, you got to see skyscrapers.
I just need to see people.
Okay.
So I like the, like the city feel. I want to see cars, people walking down the street.
And you want to hear it too, because there's the streets busy.
We need a little bit of noise. It's like sleep noise, you know?
Okay. When was the last time you had a happy memory? Like, what was your last happy?
My birthday.
Okay. What did you do?
A couple things. So got some friends together. We did Andretti's, which is like Dave and Buster's, depending on where you located.
Okay.
You know, same thing.
Okay.
But that was fun. It was jovial, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had a sad moment?
Well, I lost a very good friend of mine recently. So I've had some recent, you know,
Sorry to hear that.
sad moments. I'm all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Does King David cry?
I mean, everybody cries.
And not everybody. There's some people that don't. There's some people that have to like walk away and cry in the closet.
Well, that's still crying.
Oh, well, I guess.
So are you asking if I cry in the closet or do I cry outside? Are you asking where I cry?
Yes.
I might cry in the closet. Yeah, I might.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's this thing that, you know, black people, black men specifically, can't be vulnerable. They can't be seen as, because if you do cry in public or you show your emotions, to some people that can be viewed as weak.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way? And is that why you cry in the closet?
Maybe I'm a victim. Maybe I'm a victim of that. Because, I mean, I don't see there being an issue for me to be vulnerable, right? I like to be vulnerable.
Okay.
But cry, I don't like to cry in front of people. It makes me feel very uncomfortable.
Why?
I don't know. It's something about like how people respond to it. Maybe I'm the
crier.
No, maybe I'm the problem because I'm like, I feel like maybe it makes me feel weak. I don't know, because there's something about when people go to be like, "Are you okay?" Like it'd be like, "Nigga, I'm good." Like I was just, yeah.
So could I see King David watching a movie, a sad movie?
I cry.
So okay.
I cry. Yeah, like I'm not afraid of that. Nah.
Okay.
But like in my actual feelings, I don't do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If you could live anywhere else, where would that be?
Brazil.
Why Brazil? So many people are leaving America.
So I've been there twice. They are very accepting and welcoming of Black Americans in general.
Brazil where?
So I was in Rio.
Rio. I heard about Rio.
Yeah.
Sao Paulo, no.
I haven't been to Sao Paulo.
I got robbed.
Really?
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear that.
You're like, what's the word I'm looking for? You're like bait out there. And they're like sharks. At least
I can see that.
This is my experience.
I can see
I don't
that.
know about anybody else, but this is my experience.
You probably need to know a few more people.
I needed to know a lot more people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was a crazy situation. And we were in a moving car. And a buddy of mine got out the car because the boy jacked him for his phone. And he went to go like impulsively get out the car, but the car was still in go. So the car was going, I'm in my passenger seat and we're moving forward. So I have to launch from my passenger seat to the pedal to hit the brake.
Okay.
We ended up hitting the car, but because my buddy at the time knew some of the models that were out there or the people that were out there, they helped us get out of that situation with regards to the woman not needing to call the police.
Yeah.
Right, you know. So yeah, Brazil has been interesting, but I've heard about Rio and I've not made it there.
You ever hear about Bahia?
I've heard of it,
Okay.
but never made it there.
That's where a lot of the
Black people are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So what happened there? Explain.
So I never been to Bahia,
Okay.
but Rio was it was a very welcoming experience for me. Our US dollar goes mad far out there. And it's beautiful.
Like the touristy area.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the
That's
touristy area.
You stay in the tourist.
Yeah.
Like what you was doing, using the favelas. Like where the hell was I?
I couldn't even tell you. I just know we were in the mountains, and then to leave the mountains, we needed to drive past the poorer areas to get to like the malls and like the Americanized places.
Gotcha.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting. What do you think about the current fight of the LGBTQIA plus elemental P crowd? There's a lot going on today, especially with the current administration. What are your thoughts?
I think my thoughts are our thoughts. And that is that it's actually quite chaotic. I mean, it's not surprising that based off of the choice that was made in the presidency, that this is where we are. But in one aspect, it is unbelievable. And another aspect, it's not surprising.
What do you think about the people that decided to not vote this current past administration voting
Well,
time?
I mean, that's the blood on your hands, you know, whether you voted for Trump or you didn't vote at all, you have to kind of wear the blood of you helped to make that decision that this is where we are, you know?
What do you think it would be like without a Pride Month? Because he's trying to get rid of Pride.
I mean, here's the thing. We are an oppressed group in our dynamic more ways than one, you know, you got, but as an oppressed group, like, we're going to find our ways to thrive regardless. So you can take Pride Month away from us, but you can't take pride from us. Like, we're going to pride regardless. Like, what you going to do? Force us to stay in the house? Like, so you can't really take it from us. You can take the like, what do you call that? The mainstream elements of pride away. You can take it out of Target. You know what I mean? But that's just the capitalism aspect of pride that actually doesn't take away what is our pride.
Okay.
So
You're almost at 100,000 followers, or maybe at 100,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
What are your DMs like? And do you expect all of your DMs?
I do not. My DMs are cool. I keep my DMs nice and familiar. It's people I know. Love you guys.
How does one try to connect with you then if you don't check your DMs?
The luck of the Irish. Nah, I'm kidding. I don't know. I guess I'm a in-person vibe. Don't stalk me, because that would be weird. But, you know.
Because there's somebody probably right now that's like, oh my God, David. Oh.
But I'm not saying that, like, you can't connect with me online. Like, it depends on what your avenue is, you know? When I see people who appreciate anything that I do, or somebody who connects with me, whether it's me sharing my story or a message or music or whatever, if you connect with me, I typically try to catch the things that matter as they're coming into my inbox. I try to be like on top of that, because there's a lot of things to respond to, but the people who actually support you are probably like the first thing you want to respond to. So in that regard, I respond to my messages and I see things.
Okay.
If you're trying to holler at me, that's different.
Okay.
It's two sides of my coin, you know?
Yeah. Are you weirded out like me by faceless profiles that try to holler?
I mean, because what are you doing? I mean, it's two things: faceless profiles and private profiles. Listen, I'm not about to request you to find out who you are that's writing me. Like, I'm just going to ignore that. So, I mean, you want to send me a little picture with your message. Hey, this is who I am. Here's 3 pictures of me. You know, follow me if you want to see the rest of my pictures, Pique my interest. But if you are just a literal private page, what am I supposed to do? Like, Inspector Gadget to figure out who I'm talking to?
I think that's just weird, because clearly you're messaging me because everything that you can see.
You can see it.
And then how am I to respond if I can't see anything?
Yeah.
Like, let's be for real, people. Okay?
I agree.
Do better.
I agree.
Are you single?
I'm single.
Are you looking?
No.
Talk to that kid.
Looking. Wow. I don't like that choice of words. I am single and available enough. Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. So I'm not trying to pry in your business. Somebody else wrote these questions for you.
Okay.
I just want you to understand that. So,
Okay. So you're not responsible.
you know, some of these questions gets a little personal.
Okay.
From me.
Okay. Let me have a little. You said person. Let me have another little sip of my drink. Let's see where this is going.
You were in a relationship not too long ago. How long were you two together? And do you talk about your relationship in the upcoming project, the musical project that you have?
Okay. What's the first part of that? Give me the first part.
You were in a relationship
Yes,
not
I
too
was.
long ago. How long were you two together?
Officially 4.5 years, unofficially 6.5 years.
Okay. Do you talk about your relationship in your upcoming musical project?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, yes, like every song, or oh, yes, like 3?
So put it like this. When I create, you know, I'm not, at least historically, I haven't been a person that releases like a whole bunch of singles in between albums, things like that. It's pretty much my body of work that I give you, right? So the body of work itself represents my life over the course of the time leading up to when I put that album out. It's a culmination of my experiences. So there's more than not involving. If it involves love or relationship or connection, it's about my ex, you know? For this upcoming project. Yeah, for sure.
Were you engaged?
We were.
How does one build up to being engaged? Right? Maybe how does that work for you?
Build up.
Does it take a year? Does it take 2 years? Do you just know and it happens?
I mean, time, you can't put time on it, I guess. But in my case, typically I take my time. I don't like to rush. I'm a Gemini. I got to be sure before I make a decision. It'll backfire on both of us, you know? So yeah, I take my time. But for me, the development of that going from like dating, I think in the dating stage, it is the simple conversation of what do you want? Do you desire marriage? Is that a focus of yours? Is that something you're looking for? Or, you know, is that like, I guess if it or is it like, yes, that's what I'm ultimately looking to build? That's step one of, are we going to get engaged or not? Do we have the same values? Are we aligned there? Now we start dating and we're expanding as we get more connected and it feels more real. We begin to have conversations about the we's instead of the things that I individually want. They become a vision of what do we want? And then, of course, over time, that alignment becomes a fuller picture until it looks like there is no other picture aside from our picture together. And then somebody's eventually saying, will you marry me? Will you spend the rest of your life with me, you know?
Who said it first?
He asked me.
Oh.
However, we talked about marriage for a long time. And in our case, which my situation is a little unique, we agreed years before it ever happened, that he would propose because he was DL. So with him being DL, the idea of me proposing actually gave him anxiety because it could be before he was ready to actually do the whole shebang.
Makes sense.
So, yeah.
Okay. How public was your relationship? Were y'all like an Instagram couple, or I know you just said he was DL.
Yeah, no. People knew I was in a relationship, but not with who, at least through the internet. Like if you saw me out in public or I was at a club, we'd be out together. You know, It wasn't that kind of thing. But it was never going to be online. Not until months before we broke up.
Was that difficult for you, or you don't mind not sharing your love?
Both. Both. It was difficult for me because I try to be as authentic as I can in every aspect of my life. That's how I feel my most like safe, secure, and I can put my chest up. You know, like what you gonna say? I'm me. There was an inauthenticity to the way that I had to move, being like an out man who's done the work, who's moved through all of this like hyper masculinity. I can't do this. Like I moved through that. I breathed it out over the course of over a decade. So I arrived to this place, and just as I got there, I fell in love with a man who was 10 years behind me. So in that regard, it was challenging to feel like I had something so special that I regarded so much, and feel like I was something myself, much like the song we're about to get into at some point. Something to show off, you know, but being a secret. You understand? Used to being in relationships with somebody and he like, this my nigga, you know, come here, I want you to meet this my dude, David, meet, da-da-da-da. You know, like that was the energy I always felt from a partner in a relationship. They were proud of me. They were proud to have me. And that one, it was privately proud. So in that aspect, yes, it was challenging. On the flip side of it, I like my privacy. I am a person that I feel like it's part of what is my life's purpose, to share my life in a way that guides, gives input, shares information to someone else. I call myself a messenger, if you will. Okay. That's why I use music as a vessel to share my message. And it's a great way to put things down and let people digest it while bobbing their head instead of just listening to you talk on a YouTube video. But yeah, in all those regards, like, that's who I am. So I share things, but another part of me is like, I have to process my own world at my own pace, privately. You know what I mean? So it's a balance. Would I want someone to know I'm in a relationship and who that person is eventually? Sure. Would I want to make content with my partner? I don't think I'm that person.
So I want you to name, well, we both going to do this because we're both public people. Okay. And I've been very public for a very long time. So I want you to say a pro with being public, and I'm going to say a pro with being public. And then I want you to say a con, and then I'm going to say a con.
Cool.
Say a pro.
People can treat me nicely before I have to earn anything with them in person.
Interesting. Okay. I might need you to expound on that a little bit. A pro for me being public. I like to share what I'm proud of or what I'm happy about or what I love or what I like. And I love when people are able to see the positivity in my life. Say a con.
A con is people having a perception of who you are.
A con for me is these naggers trying to get at what you promoting or trying to get at your man in some way, shape, or form, or trying to get in your business or try to slide in your man's DMs. That's a con.
Okay.
In today's climate of dating, I've experienced a lot of men have open relationships.
Okay.
They invite people into their bedroom. Men swap friends and have sex with each other.
Okay.
Or you can't like bomb guys because they think you are moving too fast and they ghost you. Thoughts? And what has been your experience dealing with the gays here? Or just gays in general?
Okay, that was a lot.
It is a lot.
That was a lot of different places.
Let's go one at a time. Open relationships. Do you believe in open relationships? Do you have experience with open relationships?
I believe that people should be happy and people should be logical. I definitely don't think, first off, men are men. They be men.
What does that mean?
Men are sexual. Men are carnal. Men are, they're those things, right?
Okay.
Just at a baseline. And of course, there are some men who are much more like, chill in their sexual nature and all of those types of things. But I think that it's unrealistic to think of same-sex men being in wholly monogamous relationships. And I don't mean per capita of one relationship. I mean as a whole, as a community, saying that everyone should be in a monogamous relationship, or if everyone's not in a monogamous relationship, that there's something wrong with that. Because the probability, when I look at heterosexual relationships and marriages, I see a lot of dishonesty, inauthenticity, and cheating.
Okay.
I think it's like a very normalized thing for men to cheat on their wives.
Okay.
It's like a boys club of like, it doesn't count on vacation.
Okay.
So niggas be going on as many vacations as they can. Okay. Some niggas can't stay out the DR. You know what I'm saying? So in that world, I see that as like, let me put it like this. When you first get into a relationship, right? And you haven't told a lie, there's a way your heart beats for that person. There's a way that like, when you think about everything you've been so far, it's like, damn, I've really been like in here. I've been in this shit. If you start cheating, you're not going to feel as in it. And it's ultimately going to shift who you show up as in that relationship. Versus if you were able to say to your partner, honestly, this is what I've been thinking. I love you. This actually has nothing to do with you. I'm having a separate desire. And I love steak, but I want chicken. And if I don't get some chicken soon, I think I'm going to stop liking steak. Then you might just be like, I've been there before. I've had times where I'm a chicken person, and I've also had some times I ain't want no more chicken. Give me some turkey or something. And it's like, okay, well, let's get you some chicken. And it's probably get them some chicken. And like, you know what I got a taste for? What? Steak. Good. You know? So in that regard, with my chicken and steak analogy, I think that there is a ratio of people out there in the spectrum that would benefit from what openness, not sexually represents, but openness communicatively represents, where you work on yourself enough to not be so like comfortable in your jealousy, comfortable in your ownership of a person. You mine, I own that. That's my shit. You know, like that's cute, but it's also bratty. It's also entitled. It also degrades the fact that I am my own full spirit, separate before you even came into the picture. If you were to die tomorrow, I still exist as me. I'm on my own journey alone. It's like we have to honor that we're actually just gifting each other with each other every day of any experience, friendship, relationship, even the existence of family while they're here. It's like it's a gift. You're not entitled to. So when you change your outlook on what that is and how that works, I think it's just healthy in general. If that leads to y'all from that openness saying, okay, well, let's bring somebody in for the birthday. We're going to just do something a little different on birthdays. And then that becomes your outlet to express. Cool. So.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Y'all catch it all this? Very interesting. I wanna hop on something real quick because I just got into a discussion amongst some people about this topic. And so given the scenario that you just painted,
Okay.
Living in a hypothetical world, depending on who we're talking to out here, does it matter if you're dealing with two men?
Okay.
Let's say you're dealing with two men, one's a top, one's a bottom.
Okay.
Let's say the bottom no longer wants steak, but wants chicken, and he wants to get penetrated by someone else. Mm-hmm. Do you still apply that same logic of what you just said and allow that person to get their fantasy on, or do you have a problem with that?
Well, inevitably, the answer is yes.
Yes. You have a problem with it? Or
Yes, you give them the same space.
Okay.
Either position, because anything else, you got to examine yourself and your ideas toward the weight you put on sexual position.
Interesting.
We typically have heteronormatize, for lack of better
I get
way of putting it, things. And that's kind of like of that same energy that like, you know, the patriarchal, like a woman, we assimilate a woman and a bottom, and a woman getting, you know, like effed by this amount of people does this, and well, it's a whole, so it's different. We apply that same thing over to gay men with the role of bottoming. That like, oh, it's just this thing if you're just bottoming, but you can't do that. You really, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's easy because it's a learned mentality to have. Even some bottoms have that mentality about other bottoms. You know what I'm saying? So it's there. It exists.
Mentality about their tops.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Say it again.
Some bottoms have that mentality about their tops.
Mm-hmm. So they have to realize that too, because things start from the top down in all those respects. The same way we have conversations surrounding black women and saying, well, if black women want DL men to stop being DLs, to change the narratives and ideas that they, you know, spew out into the open, because then that's when DL men hear those things and say, I should hide. I won't be safe to be honest about who I am. It's the same way that we got to say that to a bottom. That if you want people to operate a certain way, you got to make people feel comfortable to exist. So you want to exist and you want people to allow you to be a full bottom. You don't want nobody to touch it. You don't want anybody to try to make you top. Okay, well, allow people to have their spaces and, oh, well, I don't want no top that also bottoms, or if my top been top before I can. Sir, I would like you to grow up because you're living in a fantasy. Turn the trainer off and relax. Okay. Everybody here deserves to experience all the elements and aspects of being gay. No one becomes gayer. Only to a gay man do you get gayer by being in that position. You know what I mean? Like, to a straight person, it's all gay. Whether you topping or bottoming, you're having sex with a man. So be present and allow people to do what they want to do.
All right, come on, good conversation.
You know?
What do you think about men swapping with friends and friends fucking each other? So me and my friend have this thing,
Okay.
because we know that a lot of the gays, they fuck each other. We know that. So me and my friend have this thing, we ain't never had sex, we ain't never had sex, we ain't never had sex.
Okay.
Because in my history of living on this green and blue earth, there's never been like a thing for me to be like, my friend look hot, I want to smash. And so you just heard that sound.
I did.
Said, ugh.
I did.
So what do you think about that, dude? Like, you know, are we effing friends out here? Is this like everybody gets, you get a meet, you get a meet, you get a meet.
I mean, this is the thing. How attractive are your friends? You know, I mean, sometimes it's easier for certain friends than other friends, if we be honest. Do I stand on friends? I think friends should be cautious about incorporating sex into their dynamics.
Just in case of like feelings and stuff like that.
Yeah, feelings. And then your friends are like, they are a very special kind of tribe. You need them. Like, you need their judgment in this very special way. Like, let's say you bring some guy around that you liking. You need your friends to see your blind spots, which you might be missing because you kind of like in a Stevie Wonder nose in the air haze over this nigga right now. You know, you need a friend to be like, he is a cheater. I saw him looking everywhere but ahead. You know, like, you need that kind of energy. Now, if you and your friend are having sex, are you taking what they say at face value when they tell you, or are you asking yourself if maybe the reason they saying that is because they're jealous or they have another investment? So it can cloud the waters quite a bit.
I've been recently told that it doesn't matter, that if I introduce you, say you and I are talking and I introduce you to my friend over there, and I introduce you as a person of interest. My friend, because we're not together, we're talking, my friend has carte blanche and can start talking to you and try to holler at you. How do you feel about that?
Oh, well, somebody about to be down a friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are boundaries. And I think that's important because, like, relationships don't protect themselves. You protect relationships. You understand? And if you're not protecting a relationship consciously, you are putting a relationship in danger unconsciously, excuse me. So you got to set the boundaries yourself. Yeah, for sure.
That's interesting. I'm glad you feel that way, because I was bombarded by an onslaught of men that told me that if you are single, it doesn't matter. If I want him, I could have him.
But see, then you know what that does? It's going to create an energetic space that we don't want in our dynamic as friends. Because see, going after the same dude creates me looking at you as competition, or me sizing you up next to myself. And now I'm asking myself what you got on me, or if I got something on you, or I'm better than you. Like, you can't take no nigga from me, or vice versa. And I don't want to be in that space with nobody I call a friend of mine. Like, if you my spirit brother, why we doing that? We connected, we together, we not in competition with each other. So I don't like anything that creates that energy. You know,
I like you. This is for y'all. This is for y'all. Like bombing a guy that you meet. Let's say y'all have known each other for some time or whatever. Y'all start talking. You start to like him. You start to like bomb him. Like bombing could be whatever it is for you. But why is that a bad thing? And then guys just like, oh, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Time to go shoot.
You know, I don't know what this means. That's never been my experience. I've had the opposite experience with like bombing, and I've learned to stop doing it. Like bombing is actually fun for me because I like the fantasy, you know? Like, if I like you and it's like feeling great, like, I want to be able to just tell you how much I like you, and like, I just think you're so smart, you're amazing. However, in my experience, they didn't ghost me. They tried to be my boyfriend. And I was like, wow, you know? So I think I learned over time from my early to mid 20s. That was like a theme of like, why does this keep happening? Like, why do I keep having these experiences with people? Then I learned to like, you gotta reel it in. You can't come out the gun from the gun bust with everything. You know, like you can't be like, you can't fuck them good, cook for them, you know, like encourage them through their day and ask them you got to slow down, you know, keep something a little general. So yeah, I've never had the experience of like being ghosted from love bombing or like bombing somebody. I just realized that it might send the wrong signal because sometimes people get ahead of them, so they can't take open honesty or just like a very transparent like display of how one may feel in a current sense. They start to take that toward like a future sense of feelings versus like living in the moment, you know? I be trying to Rihanna live in the moment.
Come on, Rihanna.
You know?
If there was something that you can do differently with your relationship, what would it be? Your past relationship.
That's a good one. I don't think I do anything differently.
Okay. Was your heart broken or was it a mutual departure?
My heart was shattered. Yeah. See that vulnerability? I told you I could be vulnerable.
I mean, you know.
Okay.
Okay. When did the home improvement interior design thing start? I don't know what to classify it as, but you know, somebody gave me these questions and was
Okay.
And mind you, I'm filling in a lot of it. Right?
Okay.
It was real like basic. So I had to like, yeah. So yeah, talk to us about this.
Okay. You said when did it come into play?
Yes.
So maybe going on 2 years ago now. It started from, I have a bigger vision involving real estate and some things I want to do in investing. That one of the things was to learn how to make improvements in my own properties.
Yeah.
So I started to use my place as a testing ground to do so. I've always been an artist in many different respects. So once I got like into it and started going, I realized, it's actually a familiar avenue. It's just more in the Bob the Builder aspect of being an artist. So from there, I started sharing things online, just sharing what I'm doing at home. And people were like, "Are you for her?" And I was like, well, yes.
How can people
Yes. You can book me at design@liveinhouse.com.
All right. So you got a website.
Yeah.
Okay. Come through.
Yes. In-House Aesthetics LLC. Yes, sir.
Y'all heard him, right?
You know?
There you go. So you can walk in the house right now and break down the wall and rebuild it. Like what is or you can walk in the house and like.
So I don't do that element of like construction. Nothing structural. But what I do is apply my artistic eye to your space. So you tell me what you want your space to feel like. If you've seen this thing with lighting or this or that, you give me all the details you can about your space. And I'm going to be a cross between interior designing and actual home improvement. So I can fix the hole in your ceiling in the course of me remodeling this space. You understand what I'm saying? So I can do that stuff as well, but it's way more in the element of using my gift of art vision and design.
Okay.
Yeah.
Red Pill Podcast, season 1 debuted back in 2022. What is the background behind that? How did it come about?
Well, I mentioned earlier that what I feel is part of my purpose in life is to be a messenger.
Okay.
Use my experiences in order to encourage, enrich, or further someone else. Okay. So what motivated me to do that was to just have an avenue to share that in a structured space and bring in other voices that I would meet throughout my life that I was like, this dude's brilliant. Or like, if someone said something to me that was just like, whoa, I was like, other people need to hear this message, or like, you know, so that podcast became the space for that. And I started the podcast off with a 3-part series on masculinity. It was titled Mask for MASKED. masked, just to really unravel my experience and the experience of people like me with learning to be comfortable in themselves as a mass presenting man. Because when you are constantly recloseted in your experience walking in the world, you're not always dressed like this, you in a fitted cap and some jeans, and you just walking through the airport, the girls on you, and everybody's just assuming that you're straight. So when somebody leans over and be like, ain't this a bad bitch? And you like, oh yeah, what did you do there, buddy? You just lied, you like boys, So it's like, that is its own journey as a mass presenting man. Somebody who's more femme presenting, when they come out, everybody's like, I'm glad you finally did, baby. And then it's like, of course, everywhere they go, people already know. So it more so allows them to be comfortable in what people already know about them. For a mass presenting man, it's a little different, because it's not you becoming comfortable in what people already know. It's you becoming comfortable in what people don't. It's you having the courage to let people assume something about you and correct them the opposite way and say, I'm not straight. No, I'm not straight. And that takes balls. That takes courage that I think mass presenting men learn later in life. So in my experience, I started figuring it out around 30, 31. And I was like, if there's somebody else that's 21, if I can make this make sense for them, man, because if I was 21 and it made sense for me, certain things I would have just did. But there's certain things I didn't do because I didn't want to look like or be perceived as, So
How did you pick the guys to be a part of the show?
Like that through life. I mean, that's how I do everything. I try to just really I'm a listener to my spirit, I don't believe anything is coincidental. Like when I meet people, when I connect with them, if it's deep for a moment, I go like what's happening? Why did the universe choose you for me to open up to in a unique way, or be vulnerable with, or go a little deeper in the conversation than I typically would? So those types of things I grab, I remember, I regard, I breathe in the depth of those moments. So when it came down to the podcast, I could just think, like, who have I met? Who's impacted me, or who perplexes me? That is a mass presenting man like myself. And as long as they're willing to be vulnerable, honest, and transparent with me, I'll lead it. But if you're willing to follow me and actually do it, please come on the podcast, let's talk. So that's how it worked.
Who do you think who was the audience that Red Pill attracted? Because to this day in 2025, everyone proclaims that they're so free and free-spirited, and I love everything and everything loves me. But there's still such a strong divide amongst the alphabet clan. You have the pretty gays, you have the nerdy gays, you have the not so cute gays, you have the big gays, you have the skinny gays, you have the muscle gays, you have the YNs, you have the OGs. Was Red Pill for everybody?
It was absolutely for everything. I mean, for everybody. I'm for everybody. And I tried the only thing that I really didn't get to cover yet, and we're not done, is trans identity in a direct way. But I covered masculine identity. I covered feminine identity on my podcast in my first season, and I was intentional about it. We spent a little more time breaking down masculinity because it's a personal experience and it's an under-discussed subject. So it needed to have more space. But I definitely want to create and have created a space and a platform for all types of LGBT voices, and not even like just LGBT voices. I had a cis hetero woman as a guest on my show as well, but yeah, I really just wanted to create a space for discussion, authentic, typically not gone to discussion. If it makes people uncomfortable, let's do it.
Okay. When is another season coming?
It's upon us. So what actually happened is music. And with the intention of music, this album was supposed to come out last year. And because of that, with everything that me and my team think of this project and how much intention we put behind it, we wanted to prioritize it in such a way that, like, when it was time for music, we were putting all hands on deck with music and not being distracted by anything else. So we said once music and the album was out, and we were going to bring the podcast back. Okay. My engineer came down with like an illness last year that really took him out and kept him going in and out of the hospital. So it was like kind of just having to wait on him.
Yeah.
And then we realized, okay, we're going to have to push this thing back. We don't want a winter. This isn't a winter album. So we realized it was going to be a 2025 thing. And by that point, the podcast had got pushed back, and we were now back in working on moving our plan and reorganizing our ideas for 2025.
Is your engineer doing better?
Oh yeah, okay. He's good. Shout out to Libby, and just I think that speaks to just who he is as a creative, fellow Gemini, but as a creative and I guess a producer, as you will, is that we didn't want to just take the masters and go to someone else. We really wanted to wait on his expertise because he's good at what he does, and we know that he would be able to elevate the sound. So
what are all the ways that you're creative? Because we hear about interior design, we hear about music. I'm like the most artisty, hippie version of what that means to be an artist. That's okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it kind of just doesn't stop. And if I'm not a master of it, I've touched it and I can work with the aesthetic. Like I have taken dance throughout my life. Actually, like people who know me up until coming out of high school know me as a dancer. Like they know me for dancing. I did theater. Of course, as an adult, I acted. I've done music both as a kid. I was in a group called The Hotness as a kid. Now as an adult, I rap. I used to sing and my voice changed. I lost it. But, and that's when I was like, I wonder if I just stopped music because I couldn't sing anymore. But then I was like, I didn't feel like I could be a rapper because you couldn't be no gay rapper or not straight rapper, until you could. In my mind, at least. But and my mind was before the world said so. It was way before Little Nas's and all of that kind of stuff existed, or Saucy Santana's, or any influence of like someone gay making strides in it. I decided to finally do it, but it took me a long time. But yeah.
I was just saying the show, not type.
Even if you say the show, it's okay. I know what we're talking about. What happened with the cooking show with TS Madison? Are y'all still cool? What's going on with that?
So we're still cool.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still cool. The show itself, it went until COVID went.
Okay.
That's pretty much the timeline of that. COVID started. They locked us down. Right after that, the filming for Maddie's TV show started. So it just was pretty much a natural progression of things shifting, and then we just stopped.
What do you think about her newfound success?
I'm extremely happy for her. Yeah.
She's all over the place.
I mean, literally everywhere. Yeah.
Are you still heavy into acting? Is that still a part of your journey?
Absolutely. Again, I'm an artist. Everything, all of it's a part of my journey. It's just a matter of where am I putting my intention at any given moment. I think I gave acting my number one spot of intention for 7 years or so, 5 to 7 years. At this stage, I have just been giving more attention toward music, developing that, as well as other endeavors like the podcast. But I'm kind of getting the itch, if I be honest, to be back.
I was going to ask you any new web series.
Yeah. So I don't have anything planned, a web series planned. I don't know if it'll be a web series. I don't know if it'll be a regular series. But in divine timing, expect me to be in something. Just know that I haven't lost my passion for acting.
So to the world out there, today is Friday, and there was a song released today.
Yes, indeed.
Called Love Me Harder, featuring Trezoy. I love Troy.
Yes, sir. Woo.
Okay, so for those of y'all that have followed my YouTube, this man has been on my YouTube before. Okay, every time he released an album, we have a conversation, right? And every album has been different. This album is different. Okay. And I'm just being animated because I'm an animated guy. I should know this by now. So, Love Me Harder, I would do Troy's falsetto and riff, but I don't want to, put him to shame. Tell us about this record. How did it come about? The sound, the Troy coming on it, the falsetto, the beat.
Okay. So, let's start in the order of how it happened.
Please.
We'll start with the beat. What I knew when I went searching is that, well, I'm creating a dance album, first of all.
Are we going to see the inside of you?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to see I want to see a bop, 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 bop.
You're going to get a little boom cat,
Yeah.
a little something.
Okay. Come through.
But it started from this place where, like, within that dance, I wanted to create all these different genres of dance, whether it could be drill, it could be house, it could be, some kind of pop, but it just needed to be dance, BPMs. It needed to be a version of dance. It could be disco if it had been, or Brazilian funk were places I was looking, but I was just searching through all the different types of dance. And I said to myself, I am adjacent and have always been to ballroom. And there's a certain way that a ballroom beat hits. It don't need much words. They can make them up as they go. You could just say da 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 da. You don't have to even have words if you don't have them. You know what I'm saying? Make sounds, and it can feel. There's a feeling that comes in there. And I say, you know what? With all this album itself is very connected to the discussion of, like, what the podcast is. Everything is connected. Nothing is random with me. Even what I discussed on the podcast connects to the music I was writing at that specific time. So this is very much a call to oneself. And I wanted to say, like, okay, someone might have said to me in the past, King David, every time you make music, you make heteronormative music. It's always she. I made sure I put a he on there. Or I feel like you play safe into your masculinity. I challenged myself. Or you always talk about fucking somebody else. Like, why don't you? I talked about it. It's on there. So this was all about creating this thing for someone else that expressed the trueness of their freedom, that they could take the journey of my album and both have a really fun experience, but also a journey that the more you listen to it, the more you understand the lyricism, the more you grow. So with this specific song, I said, with all of that being there, this LGBT component to it, I have to have something with those crashes on it. So I go looking on YouTube and I find this beat. Doom, 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 doom. Dumb sexy, dun dun dun. And I was like, oh, dun 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 dun. And I was like, oh, this is sexy as shit.
Okay.
I gotta have this.
Now, when the beat drop, interrupt real quick. When the beat drop, because I don't see you voguing and cat. Maybe you do. I don't know.
No, it's not. I don't.
But do you at least, because you just amped up to be like, when the beat comes on, the beat moves the body. I see you did a little thing in here, but does it move your body?
Of course it moves your body.
Okay.
Of course it moves your body.
Okay.
I mean, that is the intention behind it, is it has to. And there's no specific way it needs to move your body. It just needs to move your body authentically.
Yeah,
you know?
Don't be tapping.
No, don't tap your shoe.
You got to
Don't tap your shoe.
Now.
That's what stick is for. Stick tells you to get out of that. You know, it's a track off the album.
Okay.
But back to this track. So, boom, I'm messaging this guy for like a month and a half because I have to have this specific track. And finally, he writes me back. We find an agreement on how much it'll be for me to have the beat, and boom, the beat is mine. From that point, I'm sitting on it because it means so much to me now. I spent a little grit for this beat here, you know? So now it's like, it gotta matter. It has to work. It has to become a part of my album, because if not, then I just wasted all of this money to have this beat for nothing. And I'm sitting on this beat for a while, and there's this one day that I have two things going on. I'm both in this I'm in the gym, I'm feeling good, skin is clear, confidence up about myself. But then I got my nigga playing with me. My nigga is playing with me.
You talking about the past relationship? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I started writing this song because what this song is like, when I write as an artist, I try to think of it as art, right? Like, I'm not just like writing my feelings down. I try to take you on a journey or create something for you to reflect on and for it to expound upon you. So I wanted to create a double meaning song. I wanted the first part of it with all of this ballroom and the beat having so much seduction and confidence. I wanted you to feel like that throughout the song. And then I want you to get to the end of the song and I want you to kick you in the chest. That's not what the song is about. This song is about love. So this song starts speaking all about all the things that you are. Heads at attention, please. Eyes up and on your feet. Look at me. What more could one man need? Aesthetics are so complete. He said, give me one, some compete. Them, cause one not one can beat, name one can eat. Trouble them, troublesome bleeds. All of them tugging my knees. So it's very boastful and you just grooving. I'm just too sexy for my, but then you get to the end and it starts to saying, if you want this sexy, love me harder, baby. If you want this sexy, work smarter, baby. So there's an acknowledgement. It's not weak in its love for you or what it's asking of you. It is knowing of who it is and saying, if you want this, this is what you have to do. But then it begins to plea. Would you love me harder? Would you love me smarter? You got to. While also saying in the background for the ballroom kids, this is the layering of the song. For those who are in ballroom and those who know ballroom, there is a historical thing with Laomi. Look at me, bitch. Look at me, bitch. Look at me, look. That's a thing. And I layered that through the song. Look at me, bitch. Look at me, look at me. But I gave it new meaning. Because now it's not just in confidence. It is asking a person you love to see you. It's pleading with them throughout all of your arrogance that I just need you to see me. And it closes with Troy begging, love me hard.
Troy, baby, I didn't tell him to do that now. Troy now.
But you get it, you know? So it's a layered song. And where it sits on the album, I do cohesion. I tell a story in a way that I lay things out. So it sits at a place that explains the rest. But for sure, it is a layered creation in itself.
How did you and Troy link up? Was it easy working with him? Explain that relationship dynamic.
Well, me and Troy click. Just as human beings in general, like, it's easy to talk to Troy. It never was like work or like, oh, I love you as an artist, but like, okay, let's just get the track done. I met Troy at karaoke Mike Night by virtue of an artist named T-Soul. Another amazing singer. But he introduced us and we smoked the blunt, we talked, and the vibe was great. But then they handed this man the mic and he was like, I'll be right back. And when he started singing, I was just like, what? Like, I couldn't believe it. He was singing, covering so many different songs by male artists, female artists. And I'm just like, every time he sung, it was like an angel was in the room. And I said to him that night, this was 3 years ago, I told him, remember I told you, I'm very spiritually sensitive. Like, I know when I'm around something, I just know when I know. And it's like the spirit was like, talk to him. And I told him that night, I said, you're going to be on my next album. And he was like, okay, but it 100%, over time, we just like stayed in contact. I kept coming to open mic nights he had at the time. My ex-partner was a singer as well. So he would come to the open mic nights and sing as well. And they connected on that. So he stayed in my loop. And when it came down to thinking about who would sing this, I knew it was Troy. I knew from the beginning, Troy got this. He gonna tear this up. So I just came up with that. I kept hearing that in my head. I mean, it was literally like almost a year's time of it just being me on that first like 3/4 of the track. Mm-hmm. And all the way up to love me harder, baby. And it would just be blank. And I'd be in the car like, love me. And they'd be like, but I just heard it. But once he did it, man, when he was in the studio and he started doing it, he's doing these takes and he's trying different things. I'm just amazed at him, like watching him like do what he does. And that little love me, love me, love me. I was just like, the chef kissed at that moment. So super shout out to you, Troy. and
Shout
all
out
that
to
you do.
Troy. He is amazing musical artist.
Yes.
Out here in Atlanta.
Yes. And I'm so happy to be able to like share my platform, give him like, just like, you need to know about Troy, goddamn it. Like you need to know.
He's really, really dope. So, this is my question. I've interviewed this man 1,000 times. I'm going to read this the way that I wrote this, and I mean this with love.
Okay.
Where is the fucking music video? I hate when artists bring their ass back with a song and no fucking music video. Where is the visual? And don't give me no bullshit ass answer like Beyonce and say that we are the fucking visual. Respond.
I mean, you are.
Boy.
Okay. So listen, historically, I have not done videos. I've done one video. That was He Bad. The year was 2017. It's T. But I don't do music videos. I haven't historically done music videos because I'm a perfectionist. And music videos are expensive. And as an independent artist, y'all don't pay my bills. You're not paying my bills. I don't care how many albums you bought. You don't pay my bills. Only because that's not how music works. You don't make a living by streaming your music and things of that nature. It's performance, it's brand deals, partnerships, collaborations that the actual money comes from. But I'm sorry, I got a little off. Reel me in.
Are we going to get a music video?
Yes. You will.
Okay.
You will this time around. I'm also at a different place, which that's a part of the album as well. There is a readiness that I have that I had to work for. There is a clarity I had to get within myself to be ready to share all of myself with my audience, not hold back or play it safe or any of the things that I kind of feel prevents the full scope of your magic from shining. You understand?
Okay.
So you'll certainly get that because you're owed it, and I both owe it to you and myself. So
why is this the first single? Is this an indication of what the rest of the album sounds like?
It was very much an intentional choice. I wanted to choose something from the start that, yes, told people where to place their mind about what this would be. The sounds, there's so many different sounds within this project, but they are artsy, they are unique, they are what I would call suburban hip hop in some regards. They are genre bending in many regards, with hip hop just being the medium. Rap being the medium that's used, but it's a thing. For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is another loving Wesley being a jackass question. How many singles do you think this album could release? Because if you say 2, then that means the album is trash.
Could
release.
Could.
Shit. You about to say all? You about to say everything?
I will say that there are at least 9 singles.
Okay.
On my 16 tracks.
Okay.
At least 9 singles. Me and my team have had to scrap, change, shift, argue, fight, make up, think again to even pick which ones would be the singles. And then we only got to pick those because we settled the other people who were upset about which ones didn't get picked, vultures, that there's still time after the album drops to choose more singles. So yes, there's at least 9 singles on this album.
So what is up with this era? Because you have Price of a Crown, Then and Now, Inner Space, which was my fave.
Good taste.
Huh?
Good taste.
Fornication, Under Consent of a King, and then this album is called, do we have a name yet?
We have a name.
Oh, so you're just not going to give the whole truth and nothing but the truth about the name?
I'll give you the acronyms.
I'm listening.
INTS.
Okay. What is this era?
This era is freedom, authenticity, vulnerability, growth, clarity, and power.
Okay. So I listened to the album. Well, some of them. I was told some of the music, but and I was pissed that it took me so fucking long to hear it. And then you have your man's over here requesting an interview. I'm like, bitch, I don't even know what the music sounds like. The fuck I'm talking about on this goddamn interview. What? Why is it so secretive? Anyways, I heard earlier you said that I don't know if you coined it a dance kind of genre.
It's a dance album.
Is it? Okay, dance genre is a dance. Give me more about the journey of this album. What in your life birthed this era specifically?
For the sound itself, I'll say Circuit.
Okay.
Circuit exposed me to this housey, just this different aspect of music than I was used to vibrating with.
Okay.
Which by virtue sent me back in time into my disco stuff. Like I love disco music.
Okay.
I don't know what it is about disco, but I just feel it gives me peace. Like when people listen to oldies, disco oldies is what is like, that's my cleaning music.
I just got a vision of you going down the Soul Train line with some bell bottoms on.
Listen,
a bright shirt.
Listen,
the afro.
This is going to sound really, really crazy, but you know, we lost a lot of our people during the 80s due to that thing. And a part of me feels like I was alive then and I might have left and I'm back.
Do we see this kind of version of David on your social media at all? When we look at your social media, it's very sex siren, very, muscle boy.
That's what this era is. This era is like connecting the rest of the dots. I think I've done a decent job on my own over the last 2 years of showing more of myself.
Okay.
And connecting more dots and just like me being attractive or leaning into that in any kind of way, or just playing safe in any kind of way. I think in a lot of ways, my looks were a part of the deal in a lot of things, like from being Winston in Triangle to being Bay with TS Madison. It was still like shirt off, attractive guy, like there was a basis of that. So I've spent time really with the podcast connecting people to my mind and who I am internally and like how I think, or the ideas that I have and want to share with other people, connecting them to things like that. And this era is connecting people of music. It's now connecting them to what is the full scale of who I am as an individual. How do I dress if I, look at style, or, how do I move? How do I sell it? All these things have question marks. Why do they have question marks? Because at a prior point, it gave an anxiety about what could be the detriment of me exposing myself if people didn't like it. Okay. Right? So it was safer to leave it to the imagination and then people fill in the blanks and they decide who I am than to show them who I am. But I worked on myself to get to a point that what I thought of who I am was so high that there was no way in my mind at that point that showing that could do any detriment at all. It would only benefit me. And that is what I want to share through music with other people.
How happy are you with this project? Because as artists, we're our worst critic.
I have been. I have an album. First off, my favorite artist is Andre 3000.
Okay.
At least male artist. Honorable mentions to the trio are Kanye West and Frank Ocean. Would create my short list of male artists, right?
Okay.
And with Andre 3000, he's also a fellow Gemini. There's a way that he has approached his art that was so admirable to me. The Love Below. I don't know if you know that album. It's the last Outkast album. It's where Andre 3000 and Big Boy made separate projects. Okay. And it has on Andre's, On Andre's side, it has Hey Ya. However, this album is so like artistic and funky and weird, but it works so well. And it's his most acclaimed project. It's Outkast's most acclaimed album. And I know it's because of Andre's side. And as an artist, I've always aspired to create something that was so unique and funky, but organically me. And throughout my journey, I've been finding myself as an artist to get there. You know, you start with what you know and what exists as you create as a new artist. And over time, you begin to fine tune your own world that you then step into and say, oh shit, I'm here and this is what I create. Mm-hmm. And for me, there was this build, inner space being this really integral piece of what this album is. You know, but like it's mine too, but it's so integral to what this is in itself, you know? So yeah, this is like the coming home of all my prior works into like, he's here, y'all, you know? Yeah, it feels like that for me.
Why should the world care about this single and this upcoming project? Talk to them.
The world should care because this connects to everyone. I don't care if you're straight. There is a gay uncle who influenced your life, or a brother or a cousin who taught you to do your makeup and used to dip around you. So you used to go like this on the living room floor with him. You know, like there is, I'll pass. There is this experience, just like much what Renaissance felt like as an extension. If you weren't gay, you still can connect to Renaissance. You get Renaissance. This connects to everyone. This is for the coolest guy to who feels like the most forgotten spirit. This album both hugs you, pushes you forward, and taps you on your shoulder and tells you to shake that ass. You know, like it does all of that in a way that never feels preachy. It never feels like it's over trying to be deep or any of those things. But you want to start it back at the beginning after you finish it. And then every time you listen, the lyrical content, the messaging, I'm not a simple soul. I'm pretty deep. And sometimes you're not going to want to sit there and listen to me talk for 30 minutes about what it is I feel deeply, but I found a way to put it in songs at 2 minutes at a time. And it's going to serve you.
I know you're an independent artist, and I don't know how the distribution works now. I don't know. But you need the lyrics on Spotify or wherever it distributes. Mm-hmm. I need the lyrics because so when I consume music, I start with the beat, mm-hmm. then I go to the chorus, and then I worry about what the person is saying. Mm-hmm. I want to hear everything that you're saying. And there's 3 songs. I don't know the names of them because your team didn't give me the names of the songs.
Okay.
I don't know the names of the songs. But I'm like, okay, he's talking a lot and it's fast and okay. I don't understand what he's saying. So I'm gonna need you to work on give me some lyrics.
So they are and will always be there. Okay. With the music. Okay. It's very important to me. I am a lyrical consumer, separate of being an artist. That's why my faves are my faves. I like lyricism. So I'm listening to what you're talking about. I don't even care. I'm one of the people, I don't care if you can sing like that. If you can give me a vibe and some lyrics, I'm sold. Yeah. So I will always, any song I release, the lyrics will be there when the song is available. Of course, you got a sneak peek, so the lyrics aren't all out there. But I've even, here's a little Easter egg, since y'all be wanting y'all little Easter eggs from here and there. So you might not be able to hear the songs, but if you go on Genius and you search my name, you can read lyrics. Okay. For a lot of the songs from this project. Okay. They're already registered. So
your team should have told me that. Yeah. Appreciate that. Do you have any live performances or appearances coming up?
Yes.
I've never seen you.
You've never seen me live? You've never seen me live, no. That's part of that whole why you ain't seen videos too. See that? Yeah.
We got to fix one of them. Goddamn.
No, we're gonna fix both of those.
Visual guy.
We're gonna fix all of that.
Okay, yeah.
That's what this era is.
Good.
I'm coming for my gods.
Good.
Okay.
What do you want to say to the world about King David today?
You're talking about live, and you might want to plant live.
Oh, the lies. Oh, God, yes. So,
Yeah.
one thing that I would throw out there that I have coming up at least very, very soon, the 25th.
Okay.
I will be at Mix here in Atlanta. That will be a karaoke night. So people come out to that. Me and Troy will be performing my new single, Love Me Harder. I'm Too Sexy. And it'll be a good time.
Are there going to be any dance moves in this performance?
There will probably not be any dance moves in this performance. You will also need me to harness all my technical abilities because I won't have a backtrack. I'm going to give you guys I'm going to give you the thing, you know? So we're going to put the focus there, but I'll give you energy and plenty of it.
Come out to Mix on the 25th. I don't know what day it was, Wednesday. Their karaoke is a blast. If you're out in the Atlanta or surrounding area, hell, fly in.
Indeed.
Karaoke at Mix is always fun. The reason why it's always fun is because not only do they have the people that don't necessarily know how to sing or can't hold a note, but they have a tremendous amount of people that are extremely talented and true vocalists and singers with an A that come down and they sing the house down boots. So definitely go and support that karaoke at Mix Atlanta on Wednesdays. Shout out to Troy again. What do you want to say to the world about King David today and King David in 5 years?
That's an interesting question there, friend. For King David today, I'm proud of him.
Okay.
I could say that.
Talk to the world.
Hey, world. I would say I'm proud of him. I am proud of who he's becoming. I am proud of his resilience because life got hands, but my hands is better.
Okay.
And for 5 years, I can't wait to get to you, baby. Because I know you got something. I know it's looking good.
Okay.
Over there. Gots to be.
So usually, well, not usually, through all of the whole truth and nothing but the truth of West videos, we turn ourselves to the TV. And we get into some things.
Okay.
So I did the post on social media and we have a few questions that came through.
Okay.
So this is the fan questions. Any plans to perform? We asked that already. Cool. Hey, the rapper. Can't wait to tune in. What are the names of some major influences in music? You've answered that.
I got 9. I ain't fully.
Okay, so we can expound on that. Mats_insight. Talk to Mats.
That's who asked?
Yep.
Hey, Mats. So, my influences, Mats, I would say Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott, Mystical, Aaliyah. All of these you don't hear in my music, but they're there. Of course, Frank Ocean. I said Kanye. I said Andre 3000. Lil' Kim. Very big influence as well. That's where Fornication Under Consent of the King came from. It's the male version of Notorious K.I.M. Let's see. Rihanna is an influence, at least a new age influence. Yeah.
Okay.
So we could put a pin in it. I forgot some, but you get the gist.
If you could have anyone, who would you have a feature? If you could have, who would you have a
Feature on the song?
Who would you feature out of that list? One. You will only have one. I know you said Aaliyah, but let's just act like she's still here.
Oh, I can have her?
You can have her too.
I gotta take her then. Like it's a given. Like I gotta take her. Like, what's up?
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna make it like an R&B little rap song. It's gonna feel it. It's gonna be feels, you know? Oh yeah.
Miss Drea 321 says, what made him decide to do acting?
It was in me. I don't think I decided.
Okay.
It's just in me.
Okay.
I'm just, I'm who God made me,
It's very interesting that artists usually are multifaceted within the realm of art.
Yeah.
Like, I've dabbled and dabbled in everything that people would consider entertainment or art. I just don't know how to play an instrument, and my voice is not voicing for singing. But I've danced and had albums on iTunes and all that stuff. So it's very interesting how creatives work. Observer_22. Would he date a white person?
Well, yes.
Okay. All right. It's period compadre. Okay. Sorry, I can't read y'all. What things may he have tolerated in the past that he would no longer tolerate today? That's juicy. We can peg that on a relationship, or we could peg that on life. We could peg that in music. We can peg that everywhere. It's compadre. I like that question.
That was a good question. Potential. What thing may you have tolerated in the past but will no longer tolerate today? I tolerated someone's potential.
Okay.
I tolerated what they could be and the idea that I saw for what they could be, and tolerated that they were not that. And I would not tolerate the potential of what a person could be. I would tolerate what a person is.
All right, I like that.
Yeah.
Paul J799, do you plan to marry and have children?
Absolutely.
Okay. And Gaines Douglas 1959 says, would you do a movie with full frontal nudity?
Listen, what Trina said, if the price is right,
all right,
I just might.
All right. Thank y'all for submitting your questions. So now we're going to do something different with King David, because why not? Gotta switch it up a little bit, right?
All right, switch it up.
So we're going to call this the switch off, and David is going to be the interviewer.
Okay.
But there's a twist to this. Pick a topic and ask Wes a question based on the topic. Keep in mind, Wes will ask you a question from the topic you pick as well. You have 3 topics that you can pick. Start with 1. Whatever that topic that is, ask me a question, and then I too will return the favor. Then you pick topic 2, and then topic 3.
I hate it when politics, sex, family, lies. Okay, pick a topic and ask us a question based on the topic. Keep them out.
You got to adjust the seat, child.
Okay.
Can you make sure he's still in focus on his camera? On his camera. You can walk through. You can walk through them. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. That's all.
I'm trying to figure out how I ask I hate it when as a question.
You can just, it's not necessarily
Not
a question.
okay.
You just complete the sentence.
Okay. Okay, well, how I ask you something then? Let's test it out. Let's test it out. All right.
So which one you want to pick?
Huh?
Which one you want? You want me to do I hate it when?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'll finish that. I hate when people come to my house parties and they act like they don't know how to respect my house.
Can you elaborate?
Sitting their ass on the armrest of my couch instead of sitting their ass on the actual cushion of the couch. Spilling a drink and then acting like they didn't spill a drink, and then I come by and there's the spill and I have to pick it up.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. No home training.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's your turn. I hate it when.
I hate it when a nigga talks and promises things that he ain't gonna deliver, because you could have just shut the fuck up.
Next topic.
I feel great when.
I feel great when I bust.
Well,
Yeah.
all right.
I feel great when.
I feel great when I succeed.
I feel great when I have money in the bank too. All right, last topic.
Okay.
And now you have to ask a question because all
Okay.
those were easy scapegoats.
Okay. What's a lie you've told?
What is a lie?
What's let me wait, hold on, I'm done.
So the topic he's choosing is lies.
What's a lie you've told to a partner?
That I didn't cheat. But I did because I knew that he cheated.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
What's lies? When's the last time you've lied to a friend? And don't say you've never lied to a friend.
Last Friday.
Friend. Friend. All right, so now we're on you can only pick one. I actually like switch off. I like switch off. We're going to keep that going. You can only pick one, okay? Don't be scared. You can't say both. You can't say neither.
Okay.
You can only pick one. You ready?
I'm ready.
On the whole truth. Pick one.
Gary.
That was quick. Pick one.
Trip.
Hey, he shouted you out on the last interview too. On his interview. Pick one.
Wow. That's crazy. Damn. Okay. Damn, somebody's gonna be mad. Triangle started there.
All right. Pick one.
Brandy.
I like you even more. Pick one.
Brittany.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing, baby. On the whole truth with West, baby.
Damn. Mike. I gotta do it. I'm sorry.
They both have allegations out.
I feel like Diddy paid more, so
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna go with
Aaron B.
Mufasa.
Okay.
Fuck. Damn.
Dochi's a bad bitch, man. She's a bad bitch. But I feel like they're both similar.
I'm gonna go with Doja.
Doja, really?
I got it right now because Dochi's still new. She ain't even got that much to like. I gotta go with Doja.
You're not listening to the music like
I actually do.
Okay.
I actually do cuss a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Rihanna.
Okay.
Love you, Cardi.
Your face is hilarious.
Damn. I don't know.
No.
No. All right, come on. Let's just go ahead. We're going.
What happened?
All right, well, this was fun. Nas.
Okay. Do you listen to the music?
I listen to both.
Okay. Do you know them?
I've never met Little Nas.
Okay.
I've met Santana a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Be single for 5 years or married for 1.
And then get divorced?
I don't know. I'm just answer. Just that's all you got.
I'll be married.
All right. Lover or fighter?
I will be playing the character of both. But no. Lover.
All right.
How did you two get here? What y'all got going on together?
They're there.
I don't know what the connection is. However, I will go with Big Sean.
All right. I had to blur it out because they had like both 12 inches, and I can't put that on YouTube.
Wow, how come I ain't get the unedited version to make better decisions? I'm gonna have to go with brown skin on the right.
All right. I don't know if you know all of their powers.
I'm gonna go with Storm.
Ah, right. Yes, indeed.
It's easy. I'm gonna go with Maddie.
Should have shot the
Nah, I don't have time for that.
Yes, indeed. Well, King David, this has been fun. Do you swear you've told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
So help me God.
All right, now. Any last things you want to say to the peoples that they might need to know?
I would say stay tuned for what I have for you. Remember that as an artist, this is very expensive. And I really pour my heart, my soul into what I do and what I create. And I just ask that as I take you on this journey during this coming summer and this year, that you truly give me a chance, give me your attention, give me your support, and understand that none of this happened without your support. It's called indie for a reason. Ain't no label behind me. Ain't nobody to crunch the numbers and push it forward. It's you.
If somebody wants a hard copy, can we get a hard copy? If somebody wants a vinyl, can we get a vinyl?
All of those things cost money, baby. And y'all ain't give me no guarantees. What you can do, you want a vinyl? On the 5th album. What you can do on this one, when I post a ticket, when I post a pre-order, when I post an appearance, make sure you're there. Make sure you support, because then that creates the opportunity for me to give you more things. All right.
And just so you guys are aware, the Whole Truth interview, I want to learn more about the people that I have on these interviews. I just don't want to ask surface level questions. So you got an opportunity to get to know him a little bit better.
Indeed.
And even if they go back to that first interview was horrible. Oh my God, it was so bad.
I actually have to go back and watch it because I don't even remember it.
Audio was horrible. The echo, the sound, everything. You look like a twink. It was, oh my God. But either way.
Send me that tonight.
Okay.
I'm going to watch that on my way home.
Okay. I can't get through it. It's just. But it's been nice having you on. It's
been amazing being back.
Your deep conversation. I told this man, I said, don't be giving me no one word.
He did.
I need more. Right? And we got more. Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great.
This has been amazing. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'll be back.
Plug the lyric video that's gonna come.
Yes, we have a lyric video dropping for Love Me Harder. Please stream Love Me Harder. Stream it up. Share it with your auntie, your cousin, your brother, your sister, your bestie, your man, your girl, everybody, your childrens. Share it with all of them. And much more to come. Please stay tuned and get ready.
When does the lyric video drop?
It'll be out tomorrow.
Okay, dope. All right. Well, I don't have anything else to say. That was it, y'all. I love y'all. Leave comments. Share this interview, because the more you spread it, the more people can learn about this phenomenal artiste and get into his music. All right. And we are wrapped. Cool beans and ice cream.
And the lyrics are actually on Apple Music and Spotify. So when you play the song, you can actually see the lyrics.
You should have said that. You said that. You were saying everything else.
You
were saying everything else. You don't interrupted me like 5 times.
It's live.
You can interrupt and say that.
No, I wanted you to, because you made it seem like it wasn't available. So
So you should have corrected me. Did you get any BTS?
I did not.
Girl, who was you going?
I did not. I was watching the video, watching the
Okay, I'm not long video. That's great.
Yeah.
Let me get my tripod so we can
Yeah.
take some.